Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Into the Nexus, the podcast all about Heroes of the Storm. I am Garrett Weinzerl, and joining me for our early pre-Thanksgiving episode is Kyle Ferguson.
Oh, well, it's good to be here early.
It is. It is. You got to prepare, man. You got to get everything out of the way, including your belt, for the coming days.
Yeah, I don't normally watch sports, but when I'm incapacitated with food, it's all right.
Yeah. I disagree with that. There are times of the year when I don't mind watching sports, and it's usually when things are getting down to the wire and it's actually playoffs and stuff. And this is not that time, so I couldn't give less of a crap about football this coming week. So, but that's me. That's my personal. Yeah. That's the way I tend to enjoy the NFL. And as I'm pretty sure I've made allusions to this year, both the teams that are rooted for in this household are crap this year. So we're not really. Honestly, it's just a wash at this point.
Yeah, well, my wife's from Jacksonville, so we never really speak about football.
I was about to say, I'm like, where is he going with this? You like feudally root for the Jacksonville team?
No. I astound myself as they try to build new sponsorships every time we visit the beautiful city of Jacksonville.
Lovely. Well, you know what's more interesting than sports ball?
Dropping that E right in front of it.
Sorry, what?
Esports is what I was going with.
Well, then it would be esports ball, which isn't really a thing. Unless
people played Blood Bowl professionally. Or Rocket League. Rocket League has a league.
Rocket League could technically be esports ball.
Esports ball, there we go. There was that Zergling thing. Zergling soccer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're reaching. You're reaching there. We're digging into custom StarCraft games that never really took off.
Hey, man, that's my childhood. You back off. Games like this would not exist, as Blizzard continues to remind us, without the custom games in StarCraft and, Warcraft, of course, that gave birth to Dota. The whole darn thing.
Yeah. By the way, just one more quick throwback. I want Mutant League football to be an esport.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
Remember that, man? Oh, man. I love that game.
I think they need to put a couple X streams in front of that, and we're good to go. That makes it marketable.
I want that game to come back. I want it. I want a new version of Mutant League. That'd be so great.
Well, you kind of got a new version of Heroes. I mean, how's Scaling working for you?
It seems okay. Honestly, this week I've just been trying to get back in the saddle of ETC. And I've been gone from him for so long that I haven't. I don't really have a basis on how he felt a couple weeks ago. I don't have a point of comparison for the most part. You know my history with ETC. Like early on, he was kind of my tank of choice. Then he got nerfed into the ground, and I really kind of haven't touched him since.
Right. Well, he got hit with what every tank has been hit with, which is stop killing people. And
yes.
The old ETC would to the back line, kill all the squishies, and then rejoin the team that was dealing with the enemy tank. It was not very tankish.
No, and I agree with that. But also, he wasn't really given any new things to excel at, in kind of as to bring him up to speed or give him something along with the nerf. So
I've really been enjoying Rexar this week, getting my hands on like Gazlo. They feel better, a bit more resilient, but I feel like everything's kind of the same. Other than Cho'gall being in all the quick match games, basically everything is kind of the same. Yeah. Except for the stats. And apparently a lot has changed.
Oh, really? Enlighten me, Mr. I Came Prepared.
Well, Tyrande is now the #1 win rate hero at 56%.
I saw that today. I logged on to Hot's Logs to make sure that my ETC build was up to snuff, and I'm just sitting there going, wait, am I missing something?
I know, right?
And apparently I am, because I haven't touched Tyrande since the scaling changes.
Well, I mean, we can make a couple of... Oh, no, that's right, Laren. Oh, that's right, he had a bug. Chat's reminded me that Rexar felt so good this week because he was getting double regen globes. So maybe I won't be feeling the same next week.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. Kind of like how I used to be able to play Malfurion, but then we found out he was getting double the heals. And now I can't get the damn guy to stay alive. But at any rate, Tyrande is #1. Woo! You did it. I don't know if this is actually the scaling test map coming to being, or if it's just that we all have no idea what our health pools are, and from level 1, a 25% increase in damage just leaves us all flabbergasted.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure what it is with Tyrande either. Like I said, I haven't really messed with her. I've been playing a lot of Raynor and a lot of ETC. Raynor feels very much the same to me.
Yeah, great damage, as always on Raynor. He actually had an increase in his overall DPS.
Yeah.
In fact, he takes, I think, 2 auto attacks or something ridiculous now to kill a Murky at level 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yes, it is. It is a little absurd.
Yeah, the win rates overall, just the upset's nuts, man. Like, looking at the top on Hot Slogs right now for the last week, it's Tyrande, Raynor, Diablo. What?
Yeah, Diablo jumps up 5% for some reason.
Yeah, Zagara, which that's fine, been up there.
Sure.
Kael'thas has been up there. But then Thrall, the Lost Vikings, Sergeant Hammer, Murky. What is going on?
Well, Lost Vikings, Murky, they've always kind of hovered around the top, but to have Thrall there, Sergeant Hammer, this is a new world we live in.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Lost Vikings are down 1.3%. But yeah, Rexar up 2.5 on Hot Slogs. I'm trying to see what other big giant jumps have happened. Down in the middle of the pack, Anubarak has gone up 4%, which actually is important. It puts him over the 50% win rate.
That's true. He did go up. Chen is also launching upwards. Muradin launched upwards. Lili actually was the biggest fall in all win rates of all heroes, losing a 2.5%. So not sure, like, why Lili? Was it that we got scaled back? Is that it? Like, we used to have a really huge increase in damage. Those wins maybe used to hurt more, and now she's been brought in line with other supports, perhaps.
I'm not really sure on Lili. Looking at it, she's still fairly high up there in the support game. Obviously, Tyrande kind of killing the curve for everybody, but she's, at a glance, Lili's still the second highest support.
Right, and Jaina falls 2.5%. That could just be because everyone goes, well, it's no longer a 10% increase in my slow at level 1. Maybe I'll try out these other talents, and they just all failed. Or they were so used to aiming their blizzards with that 35% slow, everyone's whiffing at the moment. Not sure, kind of odd to see Jaina so affected. And of course, Asmodan, a guy that I thought was really going to do well with that huge damage we've experienced in all our aftershow games of our guy Karsus slamming us with those globes of annihilation nonstop. He actually fell this week too, along with Nazeebo.
Yep, absolutely. Chat room saying that they think Diablo's up there just because he pairs so darn well with Tyrande. I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't play a significant role in how much we've been seeing him played.
That's funny. Take me with you. I don't think many players were inspired by the last Carbot video to play Diablo, but
I haven't seen it
watched
yet.
it, check it out.
I'll have to go check that. I'm missing your reference, and I feel bad.
It's good stuff, but Johanna, lots of awesome moments in that thing. Cho'gall, of course, settles after 1 week of play at 26% in Heroes League.
Ow. That hurts.
A bit rough, right?
Yeah, which I got to say, like, I got nothing against Cho'gall, man. I dig him. I feel he can be really strong. It depends on the map, obviously, but and we're going to talk a little bit about how there's a VOD up of some of a pro team playing Cho'gall a little later. But I'm digging Cho'gall quite a bit.
One final notes about the scaling test map now live. Arthas at level 1 is now the highest health hero.
Woo!
It goes away rather quickly due to the scaling of some other heroes, but he is the highest. Level 1 Tyrande has less health than Abathur, only above Lost Vikings and Murky. And Butcher is now officially the highest damage auto attacker, right above Zeratul. And in fact, Artanis is number 3 there.
Okay. Well, it makes sense for him. He kind of needs the hit points. I finally took a crack at him this week, by the way, Kyle, and he's tough to play.
Artanis?
Yeah.
Yeah. I after playing Legacy the Void, I'm kind of like, how did that become this? Just the sheer power. And, well, how much I had to juggle him not dying, kind of in there, spoiler free. But just like, he had the dash. He has a very clear shield ability. And then in Heroes, he's got kind of like this, you have to go to 50% to be powerful. And I'm hoping that we just kind of take his dash he gets at level 16 and maybe get rid of his Q. I don't know. The Q's really cute. It's got some uniqueness to it, but he needs a closer. He needs that zealot charge in order to actually land the prism and do his thing.
Yeah, I agree. Although I would argue that he kind of feels to me, at least in spirit, how he feels in the game, which is to say, incredibly boring and vanilla. Oh my god, I couldn't care less about Artanis in the Legacy of the Void story.
Fair enough.
Have a quick segue.
Yeah, he's all the backstory. You know, he's all the my eye, like just all the weight and the emotion and glowing eyes. And man, the animators must have had a field day. They're like, well, we don't have to animate lips. All right, more Protoss campaigns.
And then early on, he meets with Raynor, and it's like, oh crap, we got to animate Raynor's lips.
Damn it! Hey guys, what about this? We put down Raynor's helmet for the whole conversation. They're like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, and then the bad guy will talk through telepathy. It'll be awesome. Artanis is just a really interesting hero. I did break 100,000 damage this week on Artanis because of Titan Killer at level 16. The 3%, is it? No, it's 2.5% Giant Killer version he gets with 3 attacks with his blades. You can burn through a Cho'gall.
I was about to say, did you just spend the entire game wailing on a Cho'gall?
Pretty much. I maybe cheated a little bit whenever Misha came close. I also wailed on her.
Oh.
I just wanted to see how much damage I could get. I was winning, so don't take it wrong out there. But I was curious.
Yeah, Titan Killer 2.5%. I was looking it up just to verify. But anyway, man, let's get into this week's Heroes news.
We're on, boys! Ha ha! Let's liven up this place!
Point me to the stage.
Stay a while and listen.
Towers of Doom is out, man. It's here. The new
Doom and Towers.
Yeah. We had a lot. Last week we had Cho'gall. We had a giant patch, but new content already. We've got a new battleground, Towers of Doom. It is here. It's another Raven Lord themed battleground. It's very Halloween centric. I totally agree with some of your comments from our BlizzCon episode, Kyle, that maybe this was targeted at Halloween and didn't quite make it.
Do the pumpkins give it away?
I don't know.
Maybe they do.
Maybe the inclusion of the actual Headless Horseman from World of Warcraft, which only shows up during Hallow's End. So
yeah, I think it's a little late, but yeah. Hey, whatever. Maybe Greymane was supposed to be featured in this area. Who knows? Though Ravenlord, getting a bit more stock. Of course, he had like the reigns of the Ravenlord in World of Warcraft, and I've even seen, for the new expansion, some armor sets floating around with the little sort of raven skull on like the belt area. But other than that, these are unique characters still.
I guess I don't know. I mean, why is the Headless Horseman there?
I don't know. They're saying too that the Gravekeeper, the guy on the opposite end of the Ravenlord, was the dude whispering to you in Haunted Mines. So we kind of have some like Nexus characters continuing to make through lines throughout this.
I'm down with that. That's okay. That's cool. And I dig the kind of Ravenlord theme, man. It's nice. It's spooky. It's very Haunted Mansion. Bring it on. I dig it. So if you're not familiar, what kind of sets Towers of Doom apart from every other battleground in Heroes is that you cannot directly attack each other's cores. Each core has an indestructible barrier kind of blocking enemy heroes. It also blocks minions and mercs. And if you attempt to cross the threshold, man, I tried that today. Wow. Don't do it. You will be bombarded by so much damage. It is ridiculous.
You do survive it. You do have to get pretty darn deep, though.
Yeah, you can. Granted, if there's any other heroes there, it's bad news.
Right.
I was trying to dive in and get a kill.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. There's a very clear red line on whichever side you're opposite of, with little hands, ghostly hands coming up out of it, and that means do not cross, and you learn that rather quickly. Of course, this has, Diablo players excited. You can pick up people, throw it into that ridiculous amount of damage, maybe switch places with Artanis. Not really enough range to do that.
Oh, you mean actual players of Diablo? For a second there, I'm like, what do people who play the game Diablo have to be excited about, Kyle?
Ravenlord. You could also Falstad. That's probably the biggest one. I just thought of that. You could use your Witens to jump over Falstad and push people who are destroying a tower into those cannons.
Yeah. Yeah. Been playing ETC, man. If they get too close, you could like slide through them and then AoE them back into it.
Yeah.
Although that pushback isn't the biggest in the game, so
Basically, never attack the core, and also, by the way, never attack the core because we'll kill you.
Right, you can't. You just can't attack the core.
Yeah.
The other really interesting thing is that the towers on Towers of Doom, they're actually called bell towers, and their behavior is also unique to the battleground. When you destroy a bell tower, they don't go away, at least not permanently. They destroy momentarily, and then they respawn very quickly under your allegiance. So if you take out your enemy's tower, it becomes your tower. It reconstructs and becomes blue. And this allows you to collect more towers in your favor or lose towers in your favor, which leads directly into the whole key objective of Towers of Doom, which is capturing altars. They pop up periodically, very similar to Tributes in Cursed Hollow. However, more like Sky Temple, multiple altars can activate at the same time. So you might need to split your forces or figure out where your enemies are going and try and head them off of the pass. Because when you collect the altar, all of the towers you currently have control over fire on the enemy core. So having more towers means you do more damage, means you end the game quicker. However, this battleground can go on really long, man, because of this tug of war of towers. You kill them, cap them, it becomes yours. That can happen in reverse. These games can go on rather long.
That's an interesting experience. What I'm hearing mostly is Snowball City.
Okay, see, yeah, I had some weird turtley games.
Interesting. So there is a turtle-y mechanic to it. If I go to the enemy side and I destroy their fort, now called the bell tower, it becomes mine. It resurrects. It is now going to attack anything that comes down that lane. When the enemy team comes and destroys that tower once again, it becomes theirs and respawns a tower and the well next to it. So there's a bit of a defender's advantage there.
Yeah, because that doesn't happen if you're on their side of the map. For you,
exactly.
Like you don't get a well, you don't get an extra tower.
No, that'd be a bit silly.
No, yeah, and honestly, it wouldn't help you that much because there's only there's only 4 towers each.
3 towers. It's a 3-lane map, 3 towers each.
Yeah, there's only 3 towers each. So, there's really nowhere to push beyond. Once you take the bell tower, there's really no reason to go beyond it.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
Keeps those lanes pushed out, though. And, of course, by controlling that tower, you get an additional shot of your bells going across to actually destroy the core. The core has no hit points, just merely number of hits, which is 40, from these bell shots. And should you take every single fort on the map, it continually shoots one at a time at the enemy core. So it's kind of got this built-in sort of surrender feature.
Yeah, although I mean, I don't know what you've seen. I have yet to see a game where all towers have been captured for one of the teams.
Well, we did it, but it was AI, so, it doesn't really count,
okay.
I guess.
Gotcha. All right, fair enough. But overall, what's your first kind of impression of Towers of Doom? How's it panning out for you?
I like it. I think the mechanic for the boss is really cool. All the mercenaries across the map are really cool because, of course, there is no benefit for them pushing all the way to the core to destroy it. So when you take your, bruiser's equivalents, they push the lane, and then the second they get in range of one of these forts, they charge it as a suicide unit and blow it up. And if they walk all the way to the edge, there is no fort to stop them, they turn into bell tower shots and fly over and hit the core. Very cool. Killing the boss instantly becomes bell tower shots that fire over as well.
Yep.
Instantly damaging the core. The Headless Horseman's really powerful. You can kind of solo him on Misha, but man, it feels like it does some sort of percentage of health because no matter who you're playing, you get hit hard whenever that thing is attacking you.
Yeah, it's very dangerous to try and take the horseman when you probably shouldn't be.
So I don't know. I'm a little undecided right now. I'm very excited to have another map without a push-based objective win. I want to see what compositions we have when we don't have to worry about damaging the core to finish it.
Yeah, it's very different, right? Like, it doesn't feel like any battleground that's currently in the game. And my gut reaction is that I like it. I like that it's different, but at the same time, I miss that ending core fight. Especially with the chance of the comeback that kind of comes with that. Now, I guess you can fight around altars to kind of have that like crazy last ditch saving throw to try and save your skin. But sometimes it feels like it can be like a game of Sky Temple where it's like, well, we're behind and all three temples just pop, so crap, there's no way we can defend them all.
Right. Yeah, it can. I'm going to assume that with time we'll get pretty anticlimactic wins and losses on this thing, as you're like, oh, wait, we're coming back. What just happened? Like a bunch of bells and then it's over and we're all still fighting in the middle. There was no decided victory here. That can feel very much like, walking over a bunch of Abathur mines and you just die and you go, oh, well, that sucks. And it doesn't maybe feel as good as maybe, getting blown up by a Jaina. At least that's like, I got hit by the blizzard and then the thing and the shot and it was a very good shot and I died. Instead, you die to some of these more cheap things. So,
yeah. Now, I'm
excited for the comps. There's always those situations that come up when maybe you could take the core, but your tank is down, so no one can really absorb the damage, and you just kind of, you have to back up. And in this case, you would win without that tank.
Yeah. All that said, especially with that Sky Temple comparison, Sky Temple is one of my favorite battlegrounds. So maybe this will become one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Also, an important thing to note, we're going to have a limited map pool until December 1st. Now, I know last week we talked about how Haunted Mines was going away, but until December 1st, that's not the only battleground that's going away. Right now, the map pool is only Towers of Doom, Battlefield of Eternity, Sky Temple, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Dragonshire, and Cursed Hollow. So, no Infernal Shrines, no Garden of Terror. Huzzah!
No Black Heart's Bay. It's almost like they're listening to the fans and not so much just cutting off old maps. Like, we still have Dragonshire. We still have Cursed Hollow. I mean, Cursed Hollow is sort of our, quintessential, let's play a game for realsies. Our Final Destination kind of map.
Yeah, absolutely. Or the traditional Dota map. I feel the same way. Big Cursed Hollow fan. I'd be sad to see that ever rotate out. So, let's move on and talk about the hotfix that went live also this week. First up, the opposing team's Cho'gall can no longer be pinged through the fog of war. What the crap?
You could randomly ping on the map, and if you hit Cho'gall, it would say attack Cho'gall, so you could find him without seeing him.
That's a problem, and I'm glad it's fixed. Also, Gall will no longer be automatically teleported back to the allied Hall of Storms if an enemy Garden Terror is killed while the allied Cho is piloting a Garden of Terror.
Right. So somehow Gall would become disconnected and teleported back to the hall.
With Cho in tow, correct?
I have no idea.
This seems like a really weird bug that I never saw happen. Gall's abilities will no longer become unresponsive if he is attempting to cast an ability when Cho is punted out of the opposing Hall of Storms. That's lovely.
So basically, don't grief.
Yeah, don't be a jerk.
How about that? There's a bug for your trouble.
I feel like that should have been read in Morty's voice from Rick and Morty.
It practically was. I was almost cracking.
I don't know. Cho, maybe you shouldn't be like a dick.
Hey, if you're rude to the enemy team, maybe you deserve that.
Finally, Rexar's Hunter Gatherer talent no longer grants double the intended amount of health regeneration.
No,
sorry, Kyle
I didn't
Ferguson.
Know this, and I was being like, "Oh, he feels great." All week.
Eat it, Kyle Ferguson. Signed, Team 1.
Darn it.
Yep. Also, there were some undocumented changes from last week's patch that kind of bear mentioning. Heals by shields are now displayed like damage and heals in a light blue colored floating text, which is super cool. And I did not notice this. I'm really glad about that. Nor did I notice the next thing, which is that forts show their health on minimaps.
Oh yeah, this is quite useful.
Yeah, it's one more thing that I can glance at the minimap and give myself a vague idea of what maybe our strategy should be. I like that.
Well, it's becoming important across, all of our maps, there might be some situations where you'd want to have a fort down. On old haunted mines, you would want to have the wall down before the push happened so that big old golem would trump past it, not stop and go straight to the fort. On Blackheart's Bay, you might want to, if there's like a fort with just a smidgen of health left, you might want to run down there, take care of that fort, then do the turn in so you don't waste extra shots. And then, of course, on our newest map where your shots actually matter based on how many forts you have, taking out a nearly dead fort is going to help you as well. So good for them to show this. Maybe it'll add some more strategy to the game.
Yeah. If you have been getting dismounted by Nova decoys, don't worry. That's not going to be happening anymore. They won't be able to dismount heroes. They won't be able to interrupt heroes, and they won't be able to interrupt objectives.
Hallelujah, I say. Because nothing more frustrating than you finally made it. The enemy team is dead except for that pesky Nova, but she's not going to pop out right at the Cursed Hollow tribute, and she just throws a decoy out there, pegs you, even though it did no damage. Your character goes, oh!
Yep.
And stops channeling.
This does make Nova significantly less useful, however, on maps where you would want to interrupt something.
She seems okay, though. Like, she's up almost 2% this past week. It seems like the scaling test map did bring in some bonus damage for her. So I think she's going to be okay.
Talents
Are you just sad that I encourage Nova players?
No, it's fine. No. And I was reading chat room. But no. It's totally fine. You want to play Nova. Not for me. Talents of Artanis are on the same tier that belong to the same ability, have been recolored to better differentiate between them. Thank you. This is something I noticed. I would still like the heroic abilities for Zagara to maybe get an icon update, because they both look like Nidus worms.
That's true. Yeah, they do. Both. If you're just doing it real quick on Uther and you're new, seeing Divine both of them can be a little confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But so Artanis has been updated with new art, and I hope that continues across all the characters.
Yeah. Janet can no longer reposition Water Elemental while being in Devouring Maw. Speaking of Zagara.
Interesting. So I wonder if this is like a role-playing choice. Like, well, technically she's the wizard, and she has to be mentally connected to the Water Elemental to give commands.
Yeah, because Raynor can control his banshees even when dead.
Right. So can Jaina. The only one that absolutely just kind of wanders off right now, unless I'm forgetting someone, I'm sure I am, is Nazebo's Gargantuan, who just pushes the nearby lane and lets you continue using the ability.
Right. But that seems odd, right? That like Devouring Maw would break it, but if you're dead, you can still control it.
Yeah.
That seems strange to me.
But spirits and whatnot. And spiders.
That's it. And spiders. You need to give it the sound, otherwise people are going to be like, what is he talking about?
There you go. Wah-ya!
There you go. I love this one. The ready button text in the lobby is now written in capitals.
Guys, we understand you want a ready check, but how about this? We've made it more intimidating.
Then finally, the Purifier Beam of Artanis now goes on reduced cooldown if the target dies before the effect started. Good. Very glad to hear this. Thank you. I'm assuming you're quite stoked about that.
It happened a lot that you would end up missing this entire ability. Because the things you use it on are often the things that are rather squishy because you want them to keep moving. Like, Artanis has a place in my heart. I haven't brought him into Heroes League yet, but I probably over the last 2 weeks since getting back from BlizzCon, he's my most played hero. I love him anti-tank, Hammer, because Hammer sieges up. Sure, the early levels you can do nothing, but at level 10, you can send on a big old laser that makes her move her butt, or getting Morales to stop being comfortable healing people, making sure Kael'thas is constantly running instead of getting to make his choice of targets.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, at the BlizzCon episode, you said that you were very excited to see what the fallout was on some of the pro teams after the World Championship had wrapped up and people were allowed to change up their roster.
Yeah.
Well, looks like you got your wish, because the Heroes World Championship runner-up Team Dignitas, they're changing up their rosters in a trade with Na'Vi. They're trading Zarmany to Na'Vi for JPL and Schwimpy.
Great name, Shwimpy.
Yes, quite wonderful. The Score Esports.com reports that Na'Vi will also receive an undisclosed fee as part of the trade. If you are unfamiliar, Zomini typically fills in one of the 2 warrior slots for Dignitas alongside Ethereal Angel. So that's the slot he was filling in. In addition to this trade announcement, it is official that Dignitas have let ADRD go. He is no longer with Team Dignitas. Also, in the press release, there was mention of the players dealing with severe disagreements on a strategical or personal level for a while now. Oh, man. Hey, Kyle, look at that. Look at how professional that sounded. And how not
good.
And how not personal and dirty laundry airing in the wind it was.
Sure. I mean, that's what you do on Reddit, is get on there and say, why I think so-and-so. And then, eventually the pro player usually speaks up in a rather scandalous way without any sort of PR team to back it up since he was released. We know that, both Zarmany and, I'm searching for the ADRD or whatever.
ADRD.
Both these guys have had some checkered past. They've been around for a couple teams, a couple of MOBAs, and they keep getting switched around. So clearly there is some personality issues at work there. It'll be very interesting as we go into the future how this all plays out. I want to see, the draft meetings, the big old table, the cameras flashing, clickety-click, people standing up and saying, we've bought so-and-so, and everyone goes, whoa, my God, not so-and-so. For now, I'm like, oh, cool. It looks like Team Dignitas has a very stacked team now. That's awesome for them. I still don't really know how it'll perform just because these are newer names to me.
Well, you're going to see really freaking soon because they're competing at DreamHack this Thursday with their new roster. So
awesome.
Yeah. Hey, you know how we were complaining about how we don't really want to watch football after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I do.
We have an alternative, Kyle.
That's been happening for years, though. I love that DreamHack winter happens on Thanksgiving.
I know. We used to watch StarCraft, man. It was good.
Exactly. I feel like such a hipster in the corner on my phone, like live streaming as they're watching sports.
I'm not. I think the rest of the family just thinks you're an insufferable millennial, but hey,
Probably, but hey, I got a couple extra years. I'm not technically a millennial.
Actually, technically we are.
I thought we were Generation Y or X.
It would have been Generation X, but no, I believe we are technically a millennial.
Oh, gross. I don't want that.
I forget what the window is, but some older person in my life was like, are you a millennial? And then they Googled what the window was, and they're like, oh, you are. And I'm like, I really wish you hadn't told me that. Yep. Because to me, Kyle, if you got your driver's license before you had a cell phone, I don't think you were a millennial. And I definitely fall into that category.
Well, technically in New Mexico, you can get your driver's license at 14, so.
That's true.
Cheated a little bit on that one.
Yeah. Also, we had things that were just called cell phones. A smartphone did not exist.
That's true. I did not go to school in an age when someone could take my photograph anytime they wanted.
And we were fairly certain all of those cell phones were going to be giving us cancer.
Yes, and blowing up the gas.
Yeah, well, that's still a thing. If you go to a gas station, that is still very much a warning on the pump.
Man, I gotta go to Oregon this weekend for Thanksgiving. That's always kind of weird.
Oregon?
Yeah, they don't let you pump your own gas.
Oh, that's strange. I thought New Jersey was the only place that did that.
No, I mean, I get it for jobs. That's great. And the guys are always enthusiastic. But they're running amok and trying to take care of 20 cars at once. And you're just like, I can handle this. And they're like, oh, no, you're dangerous, sir. Sit down. I'm like, but and they're like, what's your code for your card? I'm like, well, I can enter it. I don't have to say these things aloud.
I love. By the way, we have sent chat room into a nostalgia cell phone black hole. I love it. Number Fox man, I remember playing tons of Snake on the old Nokia phone. Man, Number Fox, you had a cool phone. I had a Nextel. I couldn't do jack on that thing except have my parents walkie-talkie me at loud volumes so that everyone could hear the conversation we were having. That was the only thing I could have on that phone. Man, I envied the people with Nokia phones and Snake.
And nowadays, they'd be able to track your location. How lame is that?
That is super lame.
And I do it. If I was a parent, I think I'd do it.
I was about to come around to that. I'm like, I have no plans to be a parent, at least not anytime soon. But if I'm being honest with myself, I probably would track the crap out of my kid.
Yeah.
Because I know what I did in high school.
Yeah. Insufferable youths.
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of insufferable, you know what is insufferable? An unsatiable desire to spend money, which is what's going to be happening to me right now, Kyle, because the Black Friday sale has started in Heroes of the Storm. Everything's half off.
So, have you gotten anything?
Just everything. No, because it went up really late. So I haven't logged in yet. I've logged in a bunch today to see if it was up yet, to see if I can go get myself maybe that demonic Tyrael skin I've been eyeballing. Maybe
it does look good now.
Yeah. Maybe get into zebra mount. You know, one of those. One of the magic carpet. Another thing I've been kind of waiting on.
That's true. Looks good on Zagara.
Yeah. How about yourself? I know this sounds like a commercial, but there are some shinies in this game I'm just very excited about.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy, right? I like the personality of, as big of as an Evangelion fan I was growing up, I can do without the Purifier skin. I really like how Artanis looks. Other than that, there's nothing else infested, so I really don't want anything. I'm blown away, though, by the 360-day stim pack.
What is
the price of a full video game?
It's $60, and that's the discounted price?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and this thing's selling like hotcakes.
I'm sure it is. I mean, if you buy stim packs, that is an incredible deal. But it's an incredible deal in the what I feel is incredibly overpriced precedent Blizzard kind of set from the get-go with stim packs.
Right. I mean, as we always say, Blizzard quality at Blizzard prices.
Yeah, but this is just I don't know. This
is a bit ridiculous, right?
It's absurd. I can't justify this. This is the dumbest thing ever. I can't. I'm sorry. This is the kind of stuff that makes me very angry about free-to-play games.
So when did your stim pack run out then? Because you were going strong for a good 5 months.
No, there were many gaps in there.
Okay.
I would buy a month here and there. Usually whenever I was pushing for a master skin I really wanted and didn't feel like waiting around for it.
Gotcha. All right, so selective use.
Right. So to me, it's like spending $10 for maybe 2 master skins.
All right, that's fair.
That's the way I justify it in my mind, which is still dumb. And I'm mad that that this game has set up that ecosystem where I'd make that justification. But hey, whatever. It's a game I really like. I'm fine supporting it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, in extra news this week, everyone should go check out King Caffeine's How to Play Leoric Reddit post. Kyle, you're in love with this post.
I am, just because he presented the new way to play Leoric at the finals there. A very death-heavy, but everyone understands why version, and he outlines it great. Of course, other people have come through in the comments and made even better, sort of laid out versions of his information. So it's very digestible. If you like Leoric, pick it up. Look at it. It's good.
Look at it.
Observe. Do you see?
Oh, jeez. I want Hannibal to come back.
South Park's been good, though.
South Park has been really good. We mentioned at the top of the show, you can go watch a pro team play Cho'gall. 2-Arc versus Stellar Lotus, casted by Caldor on Caldor's YouTube channel. Go check it out. We've got a link in the show notes, amove.tv/ITN. Look for the episode 77 post. This is a really fun VOD. I highly recommend everyone go and see it. Also, there were a couple really good plays, but overall I'm like, this looks like one of my Cho'gall games. I'm pretty good at Cho'gall. I'm pretty good at Cho. Kyle's pretty good at Gall.
Well, and they even sort of did what we're all feeling at home. They went with the Twilight, heroic Twilight Hammer.
Yep.
And then they ended up doing the Shadowbolt Volley. So no real big surprises from a pro scene as to what kind of heroics are being picked up on him. And they played it on Infernal Shrines, which is where I kind of assumed Cho'gall was going to find his place. You dominate such a big area. You really have such a presence. And all that area effect damage that Gall can put out really works well on that map. And because there's only one objective, you don't feel really neutered when it comes to objective time.
Yeah. Trying to make him work on Dragon Knight can be really funky.
Yeah, because you want to put it mid, possibly to ride the dragon and take advantage of that bonus sort of damage out of Gall. But at the same time, that's 2 people in the mid, and that's not a preferred situation.
Right,
and
you're
then
really
you can't-
hamstringing your shrine teams.
Right, and if you put him in the top or bottom lane, there's no way to go assist anyone else. Hey, you hold it, Gall. I'm going to go help everyone else. It just can't happen.
Yep. And then finally, we mentioned DreamHack. If you're going to be watching it this weekend, make sure you link your Twitch account to your Battle.net account. There's actually a guide on how to do this on the official Heroes site. Because if you don't already have Cho'gall, you can unlock him by watching the Heroes Finals at DreamHack if you have your accounts linked. So just tune in. That's all you have to do.
Kind of odd, but cool.
It is.
I guess.
They've got to give out there because I mean, there's going to be stragglers, right? There's going to be those pockets of friends that none of them went to BlizzCon, none of them bought a virtual ticket.
Sure.
And they're still sitting around being like, "Come on, man! Everyone's got Cho'gall now. No one's sharing him. No one wants to go solo queue as Cho'gall." Like, so, there's that. Go check that out. We got a link to that in the show notes as well. Now, Kyle, it is time. We haven't done one of these in a while for a Dustin Brothers tweets.
Right. I could be wrong.
First up, we found out that Lunara is going to be the first hero coming out from after Cho'gall, from everything we saw at BlizzCon.
Yeah, so we're getting our ranged assassin along the lines of Vala and Sylvanas. It'll be fun to get a hold of her. I know Kristen's really excited. Lunara has a very deep voice, much different from what we expected her kind of personality to be. I was expecting something along Brightwing, but she kind of has a kick-butt personality.
Yeah, and which is good, especially when you see how she kind of plays, because she's deadly. She's very deadly.
Yeah, squishy for sure.
Yeah.
But deadly.
I can put it out. Tychus is getting a talent update very soon.
Yeah, lots of people sad to see that he lost his sizzling attacks when he was in the Odin. It's a big part of his damage, particularly with Cho'gall in the works. And it wasn't intended work, but some sort of Tychus update is on its way, along with the rumors of the Gazlo update and even an Artanis update rumors flying around right now.
I'm okay with all of that. I mean, I know last week I said I'm pretty happy with where Gazlo is, but I'm also excited to see what they come up with.
Yeah, a little bit of talent diversity never hurt.
Yeah. We will be getting new matchmaking before the end of the year, but bans will be happening next year, sadly.
Yeah. But the new matchmaking, that's good, right? It's Christmas grind, perhaps.
Yeah, well, it better be, because Christmas is a few days before the end of the year. So I would hope we would have this by then. But man, I'm getting so impatient for bans.
I know it's tough when you're watching the esports to then not play the exact game. But the new MMR would be really nice because a lot of us at home are experiencing the same thing, getting stuck with really low-level players, and I don't know why. I queued up with a couple groups this week, and we ended up with people in their 12s and 13s. Granted, one of the guys was like, "Guys, it's cool. I'm a Smurf." And I'm like, well, then, yeah, and that's another situation I want to fix. No one should have to play on an account that isn't their favorite with all their cool stuff on it because they want better matches.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what the answer is there. Also, have we've never really even thought about how's the ban even going to work? Is the whole team going to vote on what to ban and the majority wins?
Right, we actually haven't heard that. In Dota, they work it as a captain's mode, and if you do not group as a full, unit, whoever has the highest MMR of the whole group kind of becomes the captain.
Yeah. Now in Hero League you can't group as a full unit, so that's where my line of thinking is. Are we only going to have bans in Team League, for example?
Right, which wouldn't be a bad addition, of course. It would inspire me to certainly get in Team League a little bit. I'd like to see the right half of my screen show a hero on it rather than 20 placement matches.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But getting 4 other people and myself, I'm a schedule nightmare as well. To sit down and do Team League just doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully we all kind of vote and the majority wins, and if we all vote on different guys, it's random. I don't know how you work it.
Yeah. Finally, kind of one of the more interesting tweets this week directed at Mr. Browder was from an @Stephen Fonts who asked if there was any internal talking about going away from the ranks 50-1 and going to leagues, aka bronze, silver, gold, etc., very similar to StarCraft 2. And Dustin Browder said yes, discussing. This surprises me.
Right. It's the other system to use. Clearly, the sort of Hearthstoneization of the rank system isn't going to work out because in a magical fairyland, there could be one poor dude in rank 50 and everyone else is in rank 1. The system doesn't really work. You can grind out of it if you get lucky.
That'll never happen, but yes.
No, right. But if we all did nothing all day but wail on X dude who's rank 50, it could magically happen.
Well,
I guess it'd be 5 people.
I'd have to, yeah. X dude at rank 50 and his 4 other incredibly unlucky friends.
These poor guys, man. You go to Hot Slogs and you look up the lowest MMR, and it's in the negatives. There are some atrocious MMRs out there.
I just want to know what, and it's not. I'm not making fun of these people. I'm genuinely curious about how those games go. What is occurring that's making these insane losing streaks happen.
I don't know, particularly among like WoW people. Blizzard franchises in general. There's so many resources online to go check out, get your learn on.
Yeah.
And I guess they're not hitting up any of them and just losing. But at the same time, there's top MMR guys with 50 games played. So certainly not a perfect system.
Yeah, there's issues on both ends of the spectrum.
Exactly. In that way, if we show MMR, we still have dudes up in the 4,000s with 15 games played. That's not a better system. So who knows? I have mostly good games. So let the magic continue. But something's wrong right now.
What if though, Kyle?
Magic.
What if those guys with insanely high MMRs and only 15 games played are really just that good though? Do you care? If they just come in and they're the hero's prodigy?
Right. They're just like 15th game. I beat it. I beat the game. The game goes way up on the screen. Credits roll. And he's like, what? I mean, top MMR player. I'm done here. Moving on.
I like to think when you beat any game, it just plays the credits for Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. Those were melancholy.
They were very, very melancholy. Especially when you go back and you see the King Zora just sitting alone in his throne room with his waterfall. And you're like, oh, that's kind of sad. I thought we're supposed to be happy that I saved the world.
Yeah, but then, Majora's Mask, the whole thing was a bummer. And then the end, you get to watch the wedding, and that's kind of cute if you get all the masks and stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, the ending's like super happy in Majora's Mask, which is funny because it's a pretty damn dark Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading the theory this week about how Link is dead, and it was very convincing.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, I have zero interest in that. I've never gotten into fan theories. It's like, well, if it's not readily apparent in the way that the story is originally told, I'm not super interested in it.
Sure, Nintendo ones are a bit more interesting whenever you dig up any sort of adult content inside there, because you go, "Ooh, this game's for babies!" Like, wow.
all the Pokemon conspiracy theories.
Yeah, right. Or just when the kid walks up to you out of the grass and says, "Hey, touch my balls," and you're like, "What?" And then, what was that even about? Was that a mistranslation?
I feel like you took some liberties with your quote right there, sir.
Sure, they get ridiculous.
I'm not sure that's a direct quote from Pokemon.
But maybe would you like? Yeah, we won't dig into it, but those things do happen.
Lovely. Anyway, before we move into strategy, let's thank our patrons over at patreon.com/ITN, where we hit our goal. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, we hit our next goal, so we're back to doing monthly ITN call-in episodes. So thank you everyone who has supported us on Patreon. Our next call-in episode will be December 11th. It'll be a Friday. We'll be doing it at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're a $1 patron or more, you're going to get access to the ITN Skype account, and you can join in on the show. We did one last month, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. I'm really looking forward to this. So thank you, guys. And this week, thank you to Hallie W., a.k.a. HalPal. Thank you to Lewis L., Ryan H., Tamaz G., and Will MX, who sounds like a DJ.
Yeah, that is a good DJ name.
Yeah. Willem X spinning all the hits in the 90s.
All right.
Yeah.
Coming up next, we got Willem X.
It's the nonstop Limp Bizkit hour.
I'm excited for this. It's so great to get to, do the show and then the very next day have the conversation with you guys. Most of you listen in the mornings on Friday, and then come that Friday following, we get to sit down and talk with you guys. So I'm looking forward to this. We got a date on that 11th. So join up, check Patreons, and get involved.
Maybe don't call from your car or if you're making deliveries.
Sure.
Just a suggestion. It's
already been done, right? It's, you're no longer cool, sadly.
Yeah. Keep wind tunnels to a minimum if possible. But anyways, let's talk some strategy.
Choose a talent.
Choose a talent.
Talent? Ah, that seems generous.
Don't reveal our plans to our foes. I mean it. Not a word.
Now we're gonna have some light thinking for the heavy eating that we're about to be taking on in a couple of days, Kyle. We're gonna be talking very broadly about what your win condition is. How do you win? What should you be thinking about to close out the game?
Right, and it's a concept that applies pretty readily to like Hearthstone. You can play a great game, counter everything all game, and then you're like, well, I've got nothing left, and you just fizzle out.
Yeah, that's called rogue.
Oh, I do okay, but rank 20 rogue, so gotta get those deep belows or whatever it's called. Gotta make them draw those Nerubians for me.
Are you suggesting people play one of the worst cards in the game?
I'm not suggesting. I'm just saying.
It's called Beneath
Kyle
the Ground.
Ferguson uses that.
He
puts 2 in his deck.
Well, you're probably doing really good against Reno decks, but other than that, you're probably having a bad time. Anyway, yes, win conditions is something we talk about all the time in Hearthstone, but it also applies to Heroes of the Storm. Because you can only counter so long. At some point, you need to think about how are we actually going to end this thing, and probably the easiest differentiation that we can make is that there are some battlegrounds where the objectives can win for you. If you just do the objectives, you just eventually win. And the latest battleground, Towers of Doom, it is one of those things. Although it forces you into it. You literally cannot win outside of doing the objectives. However, there are other battlegrounds where you can go push the core, but you can also just use the objectives to win, like Sky Temple or Blackheart's Bay.
Right. So in those particular maps, you don't always have to have this sort of big mustering, this decision to make, because if you play safe on Blackheart's Bay, let's say you destroy the whole enemy team, a chest pop up, mercs are available, you just go get mercs, which equal coins, you turn into coins, you win the game. But it's important to make that differentiation on certain maps where the objective supports your win, but doesn't give it to you. This is Tomb of the Spider Queen, Infernal Shrines, Garden Terror, Dragonshire, Battlefield. Like, it's going to give you a dragon, a Punisher, but if that thing goes unsupported, if you get the Punisher and it goes walking off to the enemy lines and you go take a merc camp, you have wasted a win condition. There was a chance to win on the back of that dragon on Dragonshire, and you chose not to make it. Realize, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Battlefield, Infernal Shrines, Garden Terror, these are all maps where you should completely support the objective as it marches across. Split push if it's early and you think you can get maybe 2 forts, but really supporting it is what's going to be the most important thing for your win.
Yep.
And then, of course, there's Cursed Hollow, which you win by winning, like a normal map.
Yeah, which is, I think, one of the main reasons it feels like the default Heroes map.
So in those sort of situations, outside of objectives, because objectives aren't always firing, the temples aren't constantly shooting everything. You do have to win those. What can you do to win? Well, of course, one of the best things you can do is capitalize on the team fight you've had. Everyone's above level 20. Here's the hard and fast rule. If you're 20 and the enemy team dies, go win right now. There's nothing else worth taking. You don't need bonus forts. I mean, if you're farming AI for XP, go for it. But win the game right then and there if you're 20.
Yep. I agree, sir.
Now, if you need to break through that line, if the enemy team is not dead, but you're still feeling like you have that level lead, you need a little bit of boost to get you there. Sometimes this can be just a crazy, amazing, Zeratul that pops over, puts enemies into a void, and then you win a team fight. Winning team fights, of course, then you go win the game. But there's other things you can do as well. Supporting a boss. You're on Tomb of the Spider Queen. There's no gems to turn in anywhere on neither side. So you go take the boss, you support that. That is your win condition. You carry him and ride with him to victory rather than just taking it and then going farting off somewhere else. You got to get that StarCraft kind of mentality out of your head. When you're ahead, you win. You don't get more ahead. That's just giving more options for the enemy team to win. If there is no boss on the map or the boss is missing for some reason, take it before, you can double stack the giants. This works really well on maps like Dragonshire. You take the first set of giants, they go in the bottom. You take the enemy side giants, they go in the bottom. Now you've got 4 giants, ridiculous siege damage. All you got to do is support them until they close on that core, and that can be your win condition.
As Daniel J. Newman is eloquently putting it in the chat room, winions.
Yes, winions.
Yeah, double giants, man. And I'm glad you bring up Dragonshire too, because that's a particular battleground that can really stalemate, and getting a very strong merc push can upset the balance, can push it in your favor.
Very much so. Also, acknowledge when you have the catapults and avoid giving the enemy team catapults, because that's what's going to push you out. You're going to lose your actual map presence, your awareness, because you don't have the sight from the minions pushing, and you will give up every objective after that. It's almost guaranteed. There's a little bit of defender's advantage, of course. Those catapults will push out your enemy lanes. They will come to you rather than you having to go to them. Your XP will farm up quicker, but of course you have no control of the map and those catapults, as we've all had a game where we've been busy doing something else and 5 catapults destroy your core. They can win games.
Right. You lose a lot of map control. You can't as safely leave a lane for an extended period of time to go do an objective or take a merc camp or whatever it is you want to do. You have to make sure those catapults don't push too far into your main. Well, in your base. Sorry, I've been playing StarCraft.
It's okay. I think a couple of us have. So, for your own hard and fast rules to take out of this sort of light conversation is at level 20, if you win a team fight, win the game. If you are on Sky Temple, Blackheart's Bay, and Towers of Doom, you can always do the old adage of if you're ahead, get more ahead.
Yep.
If you're on any of the other maps, you should probably support the win condition and let it carry you to victory.
Agreed. Can we do you feel we should put a small solo queue asterisk here?
Well, what about?
Well, it's one of the things that you have always tried to teach this hothead named Garrett, which is if you are playing by yourself and you grossly disagree with the entire team, whatever the decision may be, say we just won a team fight at level 20 and they're not pushing on the core, one of the things you try and calm me down and teach me is that, yes, this is the wrong call, but if you just try and go there and go and win alone, you'll probably end up throwing the game for your team. So as much as it sucks to follow the herd that may be misinformed, in the case of a solo queue, it might be best to go support whatever decision the group has decided upon.
Right, and that often in those situations comes to the first guy who speaks. It's a small group. It's an odd number, so the decision's going to be thrown wherever the majority goes. So if you can if you take that boss and you can just be the first one to type it out, push to win. That can be the decision making that your group needs to get cohesive and move to win the game. If there isn't that message, it may go off to the Kael'thas, I always use Kael'thas, I know, but he's in my head all the time. If he and rides off to, where are you off to? I don't know. He's going bottom. He's going to go farm gems. We don't need those. But because he went off first before a word got out, that became the communicated idea, and it falls apart.
Yep, agreed. So, okay with that little asterisk? We good? Thumbs up?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good addendum.
All right, fair enough. Good, awesome. Well, let's take some emails and let's venture off into Thanksgiving land, I guess.
Darkness stopped calling.
Does anyone else hear that buzzing?
Hold on. Darkness just texted me.
Send your emails to itncast@gmail.com. Our first email today comes to us from Tito Santana, who says, "Greetings, mother cluckers. Whoops, wrong podcast. Greetings, heroes. Just starting to take the AI pants off." Oh, geez, this got really steamy in here all of a sudden.
Wow.
Keeping in tradition of the Thanksgiving jokes, I think he's taking the AI pants off because they're just too full. They forgot their stretchy pants, and they ate too much turkey.
Very true.
And he says he's putting on his quick match pants. Finding I often end up playing with 1 or 2 other people, sometimes full groups. But if you find yourself playing with one other person, what are some of the best 2 or 3 groups you can play that have good synergy with each other, asides, of course, from the ogre, aka Cho'gall? In your opinions, obviously. So I think it's hard to kind of give 3-stack group advice because then it's a quick match and things are wacky, and I think you should just go do whatever you feel like that day. You feel like playing three specialists? I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about if you're 2-stacking with your buddy going into Hero League. I mean, he is going into quick match, but let's prep him here for Hero League.
Ooh, so we're going up a level. We're not doing sort of wacky things that might work out. These are guaranteed kind of combos. Okay, well, mine's out the window.
Okay. Well, never mind. Well, now I want to hear yours. You can't say something like that.
Chris and I have been running some Murky Zeratul in quick match to great effect.
Okay. What's your game plan there? How are you complementing one another?
First of all, she solos a lane very easily by herself as Murky. If she ends up, getting pushed out or whatever, she just comes back up and gets back in the lane, puffer fishes it, and pushes it back out, keeps it parallel there. Whereas I roam around, try to get my gathering power stacks however I can. Depending on the map, I might be doing something like Regeneration Master. So lots of roaming, lots of ganking. But when she gets 10 and I get 10, we really kind of come together, and she grabs things with her Octograb, and I kill them. And it works out beautifully.
Wow. We need to play more quick match then. I haven't seen this, and I want to be a part of this madness.
It's fun. It's a very fun combo. I really enjoy it. We also enjoy Asmodan Murky because all of the summons and my big old body, and then there's this little Murloc like farting around literally farting between everything. It's hard for people to target her as she moves through all my summoned minions, make a real mess of it, and we just take a lane and destroy towers.
Nice, man. All right, cool.
Another good combo that I've been enjoying. This is with Ben. He goes Sergeant Hammer, and I go Morales. Because I have a pushback and a very, very strong heal, along with the safeguard, I am entirely safe inside her zone. If you see a Hammer and a Morales, it's a pretty good chance they're going to go after the Hammer first. Morales, everyone wants to kill because she's so squishy and enjoyable to kill. But next to Hammer, it doesn't work out so much. Maybe that's the magic of it, is that people run in and they see Morales Hammer and they just go, I don't know which one I want to kill first. It's just such a treat. And then they can't decide and they die.
And then they also realize, oh crap, these two easily killable things put together make one very hard to kill buddy system.
Exactly.
One of my personal favorites is Tyrande, and really any damage dealer. Hunter's Mark, it's nice. Slap a rain in there, you're good. If you're moving into quick match and you're looking to up your skill level as well, playing Tyrande a lot has this nice side effect of forcing you to get good at skill shots. Because you have to lead with your Lunar Flare to hit it, and same thing with Sentinel. She's nothing but skill shots, and if you're not landing them, you're not being as effective. If you haven't played her before, it's going to take some getting used to, but you'll be a much better player for it. And if you feel like taking on Tyrande, that means your buddy can just have all the assassin fun he wants to have.
We got some good suggestions in the chat as well. Number Fox says Tassadar Leoric for that sweet zone control with the Entomb and Force Wall. Might be a bit of an investment, but as long as there's a team to back it up, that is some frustrating business. Not like my Murky Zeratools.
Oh, God. That's like, who's the freezing hero in Overwatch? Is it May?
Yes, Eskimo.
Eskimo. Okay, fair enough. When just way too many people on the opposing team play her, and it's just ice walls everywhere. It's one of the most...
they just chain wall in front of the objective, and it can't move.
Oh, it's one of the most obnoxious things in the game.
Yeah.
It is May. Okay, cool. I'm not totally nuts. I'm still learning names and terms in that game.
Speaking of things that feel bad to die to, just sitting there and getting frozen. Waiting for some Reaper to come up and shoot you.
Oh yeah, it feels pretty bad. Although honestly, have you played May? Because it rarely ever works out like that for me. Usually it's like me by myself trying to freeze 5 other people. And it's like, oh cool, I just die.
No, I didn't really take to her flavor. I've been playing Diva almost nonstop.
Yeah, well no, I'm with you there. May is not my cup of tea at all. It's funny you mentioned Diva's my new thing in Overwatch as well. Really digging her.
I like the bomb. Clears out things.
Yeah, it's nice. And you get to run around looking like a Evangelion reject.
Oh, and boosting up when someone's sniping you and just going after him as a tank. It's just, it's a delight. But anyway.
Back to Tito Santana. Yeah, no, I think that's good. A boring one but effective can be double mage. Just grab Kael'thas and Jaina and just go. So much damage output.
Yeah, it's a combo that you won't be laning together with, so that is a bit of a bummer. But if you just want to bring a bunch of damage to a team and have them work around you, that is an excellent option. I like the suggestion of Murid and Jaina too. Anything that locks down and holds something still for Jaina to come down. In fact, that's a thought philosophy I've been experimenting with. We haven't done a strat on it because I haven't really figured out what I want out of the idea. But mixing circles with circles and line effects with line effects. If you have a Malfurion and he puts his roots out in a big old circle, that is most likely more powerful with a Blizzard or an ETC. Whereas if you do all line effects, maybe if we line up all the line effects together, maybe there's something there.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm not sure
like
there is. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Entomb.
Entomb, if we have a whole bunch of like slam and a straight line and we can all line up perfectly, Uther healing it. I don't know. Wacky idea, of course, but
I will say, I don't think you need to go overboard, but I will say there are a few things as satisfying in this world as getting multiple heroes with an Entomb and then landing a Vala Strafe onto, or Vala, not Strafe, the other one. Where is my brain right now?
Slam of Darkness.
The stun line. Garrett makes up words.
She summons demons. She's a demon hunter. It's a little unclear.
Why can't I remember the name of this? I pick it all the damn time. I actually prefer it to Strafe. Reign of Vengeance. There it is.
There you go.
Okay. Cool.
Because it's Vengeance and she hates demons, so I guess it would rain those.
Reign of Vengeance. Yeah, which is not as popular. I'm trying to make a joke about raining blood. I'm done. I'm done, right. Kyle. I'm done for the night. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yep. Anyway, our next email comes to us from someone who only referred to themselves as Leoric's favorite skeleton swinger.
Oh.
So Leoric's favorite skeleton swinger, or LFSS, writes in and says, "Denizens of the Nexus, I am new to Hero League, just hit rank 40. I'm above average with Leoric and Johanna, but I cannot play any range character. I've tried playing Jaina and Kael'thas, but it always resulted in 7+ deaths. Do you have any suggestions for playing range characters?" Yes, just play Rainer. You'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
Attack heroes even when you don't think you should be attacking heroes.
So if he's saying that he's a really good tank among these two tanks that just kind of grab handfuls, my immediate reaction is you probably don't select the right thing very often. Maybe your muscle memory for right-clicking attacks is kind of low. The fact that you say range is kind of odd because it makes me think there might be like an assassin in there that you're okay with.
Maybe, but this is all we have to go off of. So let's guide LFSS to picking their first ranged assassin.
Sure. All right. Well, if that did sound like you, and you're having trouble actually right-clicking, continuing to move around as a ranged character because you're very squishy for the most part, you are going to have to be constantly on the move because any moment you stand still for more than one auto attack, basically, someone on the enemy team is going to go, "Oh, hey, I see him. He doesn't like to move. I'm going to get him. I'm the Jaina on the other team. He's going in the center of the Blizzard because I know he's going to stand in the whole darn thing. And so I'll hunt you down."
Yeah.
And so you got to constantly be moving around. Of course, the easiest way, just sort of the training wheels of stutter stepping is right-click to move and then hit H. You'll auto-attack the nearest thing in the area. Of course, you do want to right-click and then right-click your target eventually so that you move and then attack exactly what you want to. But using H could be a way to just put out that little bit of siege damage and maybe in certain situations out of lane some hero damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Vala is also a really good place to start. Vala and Raynor are my go-to for learning how to range.
Raynor's got the self-heal, so he's a bit more resilient. If you want like a relaxing ride, at least in the lower leagues, you can go Kael'thas and just go everything living bomb. Use your verdant spheres before you cast your living bomb. Use it; it's free. Then wait for the verdant spheres. Cast it again, and that's basically all you do. Select your exact targets you want. It might be good practice for your muscle memory to get that down. and then hang back. Like, I want you to auto attack. I really do. It's a huge portion of your damage by the end of the game. But if you're still just being real, if you're just learning ranged assassins, being really careful and just living bomb, walk out, maybe get a stun off here and there. That's going to increase your overall skill level with time.
I like that. I like that whole kind of justification of kind of training him to know what to target.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then there's dudes that doesn't matter. You got like Nazebo. Can you wall the right thing? Do you have map awareness to put up some zombies? Hey, send a bunch of frogs in a direction. It doesn't really matter where you aim it. It's good to go. Gazlo can also feel like that, but you really have to manage your scrap. You really have to, every time someone moves out of range, you ignore your auto attacks. You take the couple steps back, you scrap that down, get your cooldown and mana back, and then you walk it forward. It's its own style.
Yeah.
But it could mean that you never have to target anything.
I would say if you want to play a high damage character with no escape mechanics, so you'll have to learn real fast, play Kael'thas. If you want to play a ranged character that doesn't need an escape mechanic because he can take a beating, play Raynor. And if you want to play a ranged character that has an escape mechanic, play Vala.
There you go.
That's where I go. So for me, I base a lot of my my gaming decisions in games like this where you're picking specific heroes around movement. Movement kits are very important to me. They affect my enjoyment of a game. So that's where my brain categorizes those three suggestions right there.
I think the reason why I'm trying to steer the conversation away from Vala is because it feels like one of those characters where new players would go, oh, there's nothing I could have done. I died, and there's nothing I could have done. Well, actually, like, there's this whole world of things you could have done up to that moment. You're just an extremely squishy character, and that can be difficult to learn how to play.
Mm-hmm. I would say the same for Kael'thas. So he's extremely squishy, and he doesn't have vault.
Right, but, I mean, a good Vala is on your tail all the time, hitting you with arrows. Okay, Kael'thas is basically someone who picks the right target and then never dies.
Fair enough. Okay, he is significantly more forgiving. I'll give you that. So.
I think for this guy, I think he's really gonna love. Or hey, it could be a lady. Lyric loves all swingers.
Oh God.
You might be really excited about Greymane. Because Greymane has the ability to, of course, switch between being a melee and a range. If that's where your problem's coming in, then I'm really excited for him. Just the idea that if we are 4 levels ahead, maybe, I can just be running around as a terror, just destroying everything Zeratul style. And if I'm 4 levels behind, I can just back up and I can Raynor it up a little bit.
I'm still getting over your lyric swingers comment.
Thank you for the badum chat.
But I disagree with you, sir. You're crazy. We're talking about someone who's just jumping in the quick match, and you're recommending a hero that A, isn't available, and B, has 2 completely different kits depending on what form they're in. You're crazy, sir.
Fair enough. Maybe not the noob character we're searching for.
You know what? I disagree with Kael'thas. Kyle disagrees with Vala. Just go in the middle. Just play Raynor. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Raynor, Kael'thas, Zagara might be your bag.
Actually, yeah. Zagara might be not an assassin, but might as well be with some of the numbers that she can push out. So, honestly, for me, I always, it's not as helpful, but I always err on the side of play something that interests you that you will want to get good at. Because then you'll be more inclined to log more games on that hero and get better at it. And getting good with any ranged hero, if you aren't good with any at the moment, is going to help you in the long run. Because once you start to understand one, that will open up the gates to understanding the rest.
So. The darn reason I can't beat this new Legacy of the Void campaign on Brutal.
What's that?
I can't do it.
Because you're not as interested? Because it's not Zerg?
I'm just not Protoss. My brain. Like, I beat it no problem. First try. Well, not first try. I had to give it 1 or 2 goes. But, there was no nightmare week of me trying it every night. I'm up to 89%. Darn it. And I can't beat this darn thing.
Yeah. I've been having an interesting experience with Legacy of the Void. I'm really liking it. It's a great campaign, but it's not hitting me like the other 2 did. I think a large portion of that is probably that the Protoss are my least favorite race in all of StarCraft.
Sure, if you're not into the brother and Kala business that's going down there, the warrior spirit. Yeah. If that's not your jam, you're not very interested.
Yeah, all the other StarCrafts up to this point, like with the campaigns, When you're hanging out in your ship, I was scared that I would miss a conversation, like go click on a dude and talk to them. In Legacy, for whatever reason, it feels like a chore. I'm like, man, I don't care what mouthless blue man number 6 has to say to me. I just don't care. So
at least you can tell me you care about what mouthless red man has to say, right?
He is the single most interesting character in Legacy of the Void.
Yes, he is. And I don't think Blizzard was aware enough of it. Otherwise, we'd have a sick Artanis skin. Because I need it, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. How that would work out perfectly. He's got 2 blades. He's got yeah, let's do that. Give me that. I would. Oh, there is a skin I would buy tomorrow.
Yes. Today,
even. But at some point, once I finish the campaign, we're going to have to do like a spoiler show just about about how StarCraft wraps up.
Definitely, man. People have been asking for a StarCast, and we've been busy, but it's coming.
It's coming. It's slowly, And if we're already past the launch hype, considering I wasn't even here for the launch, so
the prime.
Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. So that's going to do it for this week's episode. Again, send your emails to itncast@gmail.com. Keep them coming, folks. Big fat thank you to our patrons again. If you enjoy Into the Nexus, if you like what we do, consider heading over to patreon.com/ITN and throwing us $1 or $2. We really would appreciate it. It goes very far to better our lives, better this show, and keep this content coming to you. So thank you guys very much. Also, another way to help the show, drop us an iTunes review. You like the show? Leave us a 5-star review. This week, thank you to RRC.S. Not a catchy name, sir. I'm sorry. That does not flow off the tongue. Thank you to HS Stormzilla and Womack_HOTD. As always, Into the Nexus is produced by emu.tv and our Patreon producers, Declan H. and Cheesy Bob. Welcome to the Patreon game, Cheesy Bob. You can see more about this and all of the other AMove shows on amove.tv. Our email, once again, itncast@gmail.com. Catch us live usually on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/amovetv or on alphageekradio.com. We are taking Thursday off this week. That's why it's coming to you early, because Kyle and I are in the U.S., which means we are celebrating good old Thanksgiving the only way we know how, by stuffing our faces and running to Best Buy the next day to get cheaper video games.
Right. We know what's wrong. And history is not going to be on our side, but it's delicious.
It is absolutely delicious. History is not already on our side, and whatever. At a certain point, man, I just roll with it.
Yeah, you just let it go,
Yeah, there's some dark histories there, but we are where we are, and I like hanging out with my family and giving thanks.
Yeah.
So, follow us on Twitter.
The spirit is right.
Yes. If I had a time machine, I would gladly try and fix it.
But I keep the celebration the same. We just change all the history. Because I still want to eat, man.
Well, we'll fix it on the same day, so we have something to celebrate on the same day, and we'll celebrate it by eating turkey.
There we go.
Well,
make
somehow
something really good happen.
That'd be a great Back to the Future reboot. Somehow they go back in time and fix the Pilgrims Coming and still fix it with a turkey.
Right.
So, if anything, that's definitely a Rick and Morty episode.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'd watch it.
I'd watch any new episodes. I need a new episode. Free Rick.
You need to watch yourself some One Punch Man. That's good stuff.
There's a lot of shows I need to watch right now. In the middle of Jessica Jones. That show's amazing. Really good. I kind of want to just go watch it right now. But totally going to stick around and play some after show games.
Of course.
Yeah. Then I need to go watch Men in the High Castle after that. I'm still getting through the slog that is the final season of Dragon Ball Z. That Buu saga gets real dumb.
Yeah.
Like, even by Dragon Ball Z standards, man. It's tough. It's really tough. But I never saw how it ended back in my heyday of being a kid watching Dragon Ball Z. So I just need to make it through. Because I want to watch Dragon Ball Super. I want to do it. Anywho, follow us on Twitter at ITNcast. We're on Facebook /AMoveTV, and we're on Reddit at ITNpodcast.reddit.com. Thanks to BrianGriffithMusic.com for our intro music. And Kyle, where can folks find you?
You can find me at KyleFerguson.com. That's where you can sign up for lessons. Also, it's now a thing, officially. Every Friday, I will be reviewing replays. I've got a great catalog of people who have already sent emails. I messed up the email last time. I'll give it another go here. SoloQAcast@gmail.com is where you send those. Get your replay reviewed in Heroes. See if we can't help you get to that next level. And, of course, Solo Q&A Tuesdays. today's was a delight. It'll be up shortly on my YouTube, youtube.com/c/Kyle Ferguson.
Woo! Awesome. Go check it out. Follow me on Twitter at Garrett Art. I can be found on the Angry Chicken talking about Hearthstone, and I'm over at the Angry Nerd talking to myself. Most recent episode is really mushy and touchy-feely because I'm decompressing after the wedding, so be prepared for that. Not a lot of anger, actually. I kind of misbuild the show.
How about emotional? It works in the anger, but I think it might reduce some clicks.
Yeah. Well, at some point I will turn myself into a Dalek, and the name will be fitting.
There you go. What are these feelings? That was the first episode I ever watched. I wanted to never watch Doctor Who again.
I want to reiterate, and I know I've told you this before, and I'm going to tell you it again. At no point in that episode does the Dalek say, "Why do I feel?"
But what are these feelings, right? There's something. He's like got tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
In his eye.
Although now it is a joke in the house. Why do I feel?
Yes.
But, yeah,
it can't be taken back.
Kyle Ferguson misquotes Doctor Who.
I misquote a lot of things.
Just because we aren't running ads anymore doesn't mean these codes are any less awesome. Check out doghousesystems.com, where the code ITN will get you a 120 gigabyte solid-state drive added onto your already amazing Doghouse Systems gaming PC. And also, their holiday sale, aka their Black Friday sale, is going on, right now. It started on November 17th. It's going through December 13th. You can get free ground shipping within the U.S. You get free upgrade to an Intel Smart Response solid-state drive. You get free 16 gigabytes of RAM. And there's all kinds of NVIDIA and Intel bundles. Go check it out, doghousesystems.com. And also check out tweakedaudio.com, where you can use the code ITN to get 30% off and free shipping on your entire order of earbuds from Tweaked Audio. We thank them for their support. We thank you for tuning in. One more big thanks to the patrons. We will see you guys in the after show games. Good luck and have fun, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.